Land in your silence. Open your heart and let your love, your fearless love, surround all those that you love, your community, your nation, and the world, and beyond. Amen, amen, amen. And as many of you have seen, the mask in me bows to the person wearing the mask in you. Namaste. You've seen that little thing, the yoga thing going around. Namaste. So we're going to dig right in. Bhagavad Gita. Many of you have heard me speak on the Bhagavad Gita. What's so fun is most of the time when I speak, and I often speak for many hours, like sometimes 4 hours on the Bhagavad Gita, and rarely do I ever get to the third chapter. I speak about the first chapter, we end up going to the last chapter, but rarely do I get to the third chapter. And the third chapter is about yoga is action. Yoga, skillfulness, and action. So we're going to go into the third chapter today because it's especially pertinent for what's going on right now, and especially helpful for any of us who are feeling some sense of anxiety or stress or inactivity or inertia or procrastination or confusion. Anybody feeling that? Few people. That's a good thing. Or it's not a good thing, but it is a good thing. So let me just recap the first two chapters because everything sits on the first two chapters. The first chapter is Arjuna's depression and despair. He goes into depression and despair, and the poignant situation of, here I am, can't win if I do, can't win if I don't, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. That pertinent situation really describes where we are today. So I think that's cool. And it points out a confusion as to what is the right thing to do right now? What is the right action to take? What is the right way to move in this particular dilemma that we're in? So that's the first chapter. The second chapter is called The Practice of Yoga. Yoga meaning union. And this is where Krishna says the one basic teaching that changes everything. He says to Arjuna, Arjuna, you are infinite, you are eternal, you are whole. You are infinite, eternal, and whole. You have no reason to fear anything. Nothing. And there was never a time when I did not exist, meaning Krishna. There was never a time when you did not exist. There will never be a time when we don't exist. There was never a time when the people that you're looking at and you're about to fight, who seem to be your opposition, didn't exist. There is no harm ever, anywhere, never could be. And so then he says, so get up and fight, which is the real interesting paradox. So get up and get into action. But here's the thing about that infinite, eternal, and whole. That concept of being infinite, eternal, and whole is the foundation of our spiritual journey. And it is the context that changes everything. Without that context, we get lost in absolute fear. In the context of that we are infinite, eternal, and whole, there is absolutely nothing to fear. And then we are left with the job of, now knowing that there's nothing to fear, and we're still in fear, how do we rid ourselves of that fear? What is it that we can do to rid ourselves of that fear? And I like to make up beliefs. I like to make up beliefs that are helpful. And the first belief that I have that I find helpful is this: I'm always wrong. Period. No matter what the belief is, I'm always wrong. No matter what the belief is, this human mind, as good as I can put it together, no matter how much I read and how many fabulous conspiracy videos I watch, and no matter how much I'm dedicated to being in this political side or that political side, I am a human and I have a mind, and I can be assured of one thing. I am infinitesimal in regards to my knowledge about the truth. I am wrong, period, about everything that I've made up. So knowing that, I come at it with a light, what I like to say, a light grip. Wow, everything that I'm making up here is a total joke, but how fun. Now that I know that it's a total joke, why not make up things that are helpful? Why not make up things that are joyful? Why not make up things that give me a better experience? Because the truth is, I'm not going to change the experience. I am not in charge of when I die. I'm not in charge of pandemics. I'm not in charge of whether Bill Gates is creating a conspiracy to, put nanobot technology in us with world vaccines. I'm not in charge. So none of it matters. What I am in charge of is my own personal experience all along the way. And what I have found is the best belief that I can have that provides me the most amount of joy and happiness is that I'm infinite, eternal, and whole. So I sit on that foundation. I'm going to go to my deathbed believing that I'm infinite, eternal, and whole. I also am very open that I could be wrong. I could cross over and find out that was it. And that's okay too. If that's it, there's no self that even says anything like, well, gee, I wish I'd have believed I wasn't infinite, eternal, and whole. So there's no consequences for believing it. There's tons of consequences for believing it while I'm living. Because while I live in a much higher state of joy, a much higher state of fearlessness, and a much higher state of action from a context of true happiness and union, yoga. So I love the belief. It is my favorite foundational belief. Now, we're going on to step 3. But those 2 chapters are really important in regards to getting into chapter 3. So chapter 3, the title is, let me put on my red glasses. It's called The Yoga of Action. So chapter 2 is called The Practice of Yoga, the Practice of Union. And now we have chapter 3, The Union of Action. And Arjuna says, so tell me, Krishna, what must I do to arrive at the highest good? And Krishna says, no one, not even for an instant, can exist without acting. All beings are compelled to be in action. The superior man, with no attachment to his results, engages in the yoga of action. Do any actions that you must do, since action is better than inaction. Even the existence of your body depends on necessary actions. If you want to be truly free, perform all actions as worship. If you want to be truly free, perform all actions as worship. And again, it's not even about choosing the right or the wrong action, because once we know we're always wrong, then we're free to at least be wrong and do what I like to say, make our best wild-ass guess, your best wag. This is my best wild-ass guess about what this is all about. So I'm going to go for it. And just because it's your best wild-ass guess, it doesn't mean that you don't have conviction. Conviction and being right are 2 different things. I am very convicted around my belief that I'm infinite, eternal, and whole. I'm also open to the fact that I could be wrong. Okay? So I have beliefs that I believe in reincarnation. I could be wrong. I'm going to die believing in reincarnation. I have high conviction about the belief. But I could be wrong. And that makes a difference when I talk to other human beings, because I'm not coming from a place of I'm right and you're wrong. I'm coming from a place of I'm a very infallible human being with a crazy mind that can't come close to perceiving the truth. So I'm making up my best wild-ass guess, and here's what I've made up. I find it really helpful. And for me, the question about beliefs is not whether they're true or not. For me, the question is the belief helpful or not? Does the belief promote joy? Does the belief promote union? Does the belief promote health? And beliefs that don't, because they're all wrong anyways, they're really not worth it. So this thing about action and being in action is really where the heart is. Yoga is skillfulness in action. Create every action as worship. And then I love this. He who fails to keep turning, the wheel thus set in motion. Now this refers to something in a further chapter, which says God set the wheels in motion. The Creator created creation. And then God gave us the ability to be fellow creators, to create in creation, to continue to create, to be in action in a wheel that's in motion. And we can choose to choose inaction, meaning not acting, as our action, but it's still in action. And what it says here is, if we choose inaction, it's like, imagine the river flowing. It's in action. It's moving. And if you stop, you meet that constant barrage of the river in you. It's like swimming upstream. There's no way to really be to be in the flow, to be healthy, to be a creator. We all thrive when we're in our creative mode and we're expressing ourselves. Our true health and the true alignment of all of our koshas, our body, our mind, our breath and life force, our witness consciousness and our soul, they join up in skillful action. So procrastination, which we all know what that feels like, it never really feels good. We end up feeling unhealthy. We end up feeling like we've wasted our time. We end up feeling sluggish, and action is a really great thing. So I also want to put in a little side note here. I'm also all for proper inaction, which means there are great times in life to take rest, and I know that the best rest I get is, I love to go to bed at the end of the day and say, what a fabulous day. Oh my God, does it feel so good to be horizontal. I gave it my all. I spent my wad. I'm my gas tank's on empty. And now I get to go to bed to let it fill up. And those are the nights that I go into my deepest sleeps. But on the days when I haven't really done much, when I haven't really accomplished what I said I wanted to, or what I know that I could, I get in bed and I don't necessarily feel that great about the day. Now that's in a certain context. At the same sense, there are certain ages where it's appropriate to rest more. I'm also at a place where I'm nearing retirement, and I've worked very hard to learn how to be in the present moment and just be joyful in moments like, I've got my coffee, I'm in the hot tub, I'm enjoying the sun rising. This is what it's all about. I'm doing my pranayama and I'm in a state of timelessness. But that's highly productive. So I'm not saying don't take moments of rest and don't do your practice. And so I'm not just saying, we all have to be workaholics. There are appropriate times where any action can turn to being, and I'm going to use another term from the Bhagavad Gita, sattvic, meaning the holiest or the highest form of energy. And so it's not about the action itself, it's about where and how we use it. So that's being skillful in our action. I love this thing about God has set the wheels in motion. And here it says, he who fails to keep the wheels thus set in motion. And then it says, the Gita will throw out these sort of weird things, has damaged the working of the world and has wasted his life. That's a pretty hard hit. When we really choose to not be a part of the world and to be dragged along. Now I'm going to make a gross generalization, but as many of you know, my favorite work that I've done in my whole life has been working at the recovery treatment center that I work at It's a residential treatment center. And for me, it's like Kripalu. It is a full-time, head-on, intense yoga teacher training all the time with people working with addictions. Well, yoga is about breaking those habitual, indoctrinated, unconscious patternings, bringing traumas from the past forward, feeling them fully, and becoming conscious and happy. And that is really what we're doing at this Belamonte Treatment Center. However, I would like to say that we have a lot of people with their heels dug in, doing their best to do as little as possible, not even on the game board yet in regards to their own happiness. And they're in total pain, and cannot see their own resistance to just creating some action. And a lot of that is because they sit in a state of, it's not worth it. Damned if I do and damned if I don't. There's no purpose whatsoever, so I might as well just get drunk or stoned and wait till the whole mess is over. And lots and lots and lots of people feel that despondency on our planet today. So that to me is what it's like when it says they've damaged the working of the world and they've wasted a life. There are so many people that we are having to carry along who could be contributing something and whose potential is lying in there completely buried through trauma. And, in all ways, we are those people too. So, it's not like, we're above anybody else. It's truly my favorite, most gritty and fabulous work on the planet. Another verse. He has nothing to achieve by action. Isn't that interesting? So now he just said, get into action, but then he says, this superior man has nothing to achieve by action and nothing to gain by inaction. It's just that creation is moving, gang. So flow with the river. Create something. Create anything. Find your action and do it to the best of your ability. Make your best wildest guess and get on board, because in that process, that's where the real learning begins. That's where the real being in the present moment begins, and that's where we begin to clear our samskaras, which I'm about to get to. Without concerns for the results, and this is what the Gita keeps saying all the time, perform your necessary actions. Without concern for results, perform the necessary actions. So that's so interesting, to act without worried about, people might like it, people might not like it. This might work, this might not work. A virus might come and sweep the whole thing away. The one moment I'm up, the next moment I'm down. Thy will be done. Off it goes. Like I at my years at Kripalu, being there for a good tenure and then watch it being swept away in such a short time, I just kept saying to myself, sand paintings. They're paintings in the sand. The wave comes, out it goes. Like the Zen masters that create those beautiful, beautiful artworks that take hours and hours and hours with flower petals, and then the wind comes and washes it all away. It's not meant to be forever. The act of creation is the healing act in and of itself. Surrender all your attachments. So that's what it says. Without concern for results, perform the necessary actions and surrender all your attachments. That's where the healing work comes. Because as we do our skillful action, we find out what our attachments are. When something comes and drags it all away, when suddenly our bank account goes down to zero, when suddenly our business is closed forever, when suddenly, we could go on. That's where we find out where we were attached and where we weren't necessarily doing it for, just the sake of acting. But when we do surrender all attachments, we will accomplish life's highest good, which is freedom, happiness, meaningful purpose, belonging to ourselves and others, safety, health, and abundance. That's what happens. We accomplish life's highest goods by surrendering all our attachments. And then one last paragraph about this, and we're done with it, and I'd like to talk a little bit more, but this is where we'll end. Whatever a great man does, ordinary people will do. Whatever standards he sets, everyone will follow. So this is the call to be a true yogi. A call to say, for me, it goes down to acting from the belief that I am infinite, eternal, and whole. Creates, even in the most adverse situations, a lightheartedness, a joy, and a lack of seriousness. It is okay to be totally out of control. It is okay to be completely aware that I know nothing about what's going on. And it is still okay to find personal joy and to choose what right action is next. And only then can I let go of whatever it was that I was attached to back in, quote, normal life, and adapt to the actions that are appropriate in this new life and in this moment. But if I'm so busy whining about what I just lost and worried about what might come, then I miss what's present right now and the ways in which I can move forward to be a leader, to be an inspiration. And a true leader acts from joy. A true leader is acting from a sense of lightheartedness and modeling, I'm okay, you okay? Let's lock arms and get together and do our best self. But you know, if joy and peace and freedom is the goal, then we have to be joyful and free and peaceful all along the way. Because otherwise, it doesn't work. You know, if union is the goal, we have to be in union all along the way to actually be teaching and inspiring and creating union. We have to model it. Now, one other thing, and this is to me where the real grist or the word tapas of the yamas and niyamas come to bear. This is why this is a golden opportunity. And that's not just being Pollyanna where, you know, we go like, but let's look for the silver lining in every opportunity. This is what this is about for me. We have opportunities to clear our biggest samskaras, which are our attachments. Those attachments are fear. And for me, if the purpose of the world, and I love to make up, what's the purpose of this world, okay? And one of the fun purposes I like to make up is that we as infinite, eternal, whole angels said, let's create a really messy world where we pop into these bodies that die and we're rooted in time and space and we create a lot of mess and a lot of fear and we bring up and we manifest in our own lives and in the lives of each other and in big ways and in small ways, the biggest doom and gloom that we can possibly muster, and we've done it over the centuries. We've had holocausts and wars and plagues before and conspiracy theories and you name it, we've killed every Indian. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on. We've always had trauma here that we create. And what if the purpose is just to create that so that we could learn that we are infinite, eternal, and whole? So that we could go, here's another fear right here in my face, and it's time to let it go. It's time to surrender, okay? So here we are faced with, again, biggest fear, not just our own death, but the death of everyone, the loss of our future. You know, the big unknown, we can't see it. This virus is the boogeyman. You could get it from breathing in and out. Oh my God, don't breathe. You could get it from touching someone you love. You could get it if you go to the grocery store to buy food. You could get it. You could get it. You know, it's like, wow, that's huge. That is huge. And I'm not saying that there isn't some caution to have, but it's a virus. We know how they work. They enter the Death Star through the mouth, the nose, and the eyes. Wash your hands a lot. Don't touch your face. You know, wear the mask. That's not to protect you. That's to protect others from you coughing on them. You know, be socially distant. Okay, we can do that. And carry on. And carry on. And help pick those up who are lost in fear and helplessness and hopelessness. You know, now, I want to say, I, like many others, are in states of what I call quicksand. I feel like my feet are in quicksand. So it's certainly making it more difficult to be in skillful action. Because when your feet are in quicksand, it's pretty hard to run. And the quicksand is like, well, here's where it is today. It's at my ankles. But, I don't have much of a nest egg. And when's it going to be at my knees? And when's it going to be at my waist? And when's it going to be over my nose and I can't breathe? And when am I going under? Fascinating thoughts, and certainly can make it more challenging to move into a rightful action. But I'm here, and I often like to say to myself, what's the worst case scenario? And then I love to make up the worst case scenario, and then I love to embrace it and say, can I handle that? So I've gone, worst case scenario. Let's say I lose all my money. I'm way under the waterline, like many, many, many people are already, and many, many more are sure to go. And I'm living in a tent for the next 5 years begging for food. Can I handle that? And the answer is yes, I can handle that. I could live happily for the next 5 years in a tent while we try to get this fear and work it through ourselves and figure it out and move on from there. So, there could be many other worst case scenarios, but that's one that I love. I've been looking at many tents online, and I'm getting ready to buy a really fabulous tent. So the grist for the mill is this. This is our opportunity to really see and clear our deepest fears. And what if you, as an infinite eternal angel, co-created this mess with all of us for one purpose, so that we could get free, so that we could be in joy all the time, undisturbed, so that we could move to the place of leadership through example. So my call to you is to say, be very aware and with your witness consciousness about what the fears and concerns are that are coming up. Are they strangling you? Feel them fully. Find out what their roots are rooted in and uproot them. Because the real answer here is that no matter what the question is, the answer is love. And that's again, I don't know much, but no matter what the question is, the answer is love. Okay? No matter what the question is, the answer is, for me, I'm infinite, eternal, and whole. And the only way I can find love inside myself in adverse situations is if I'm an infinite, eternal, whole being. So I just want to say one other thing. Any great master that's come on the planet, the teachings of Jesus, the teachings of Buddha, the teachings of Krishna, are that. I'm infinite, eternal, and whole, and so are you, but you forgot that you are. So please get on board here. There is no harm here. Your sins are forgiven. And the word sin means illusion. The illusion that you're separated from God. That's what sin means in Latin. So your sins are forgiven. You are saved. Salvation has happened. This is the gospel, the good news, okay, that Jesus taught. We're free. Now go out and be joyful. Go out and be a leader. Go out and help and serve. And in that helping and serving with zero attachment, you will find your own peace. You will find your own health. You will find your own energy because you will be flowing with the wheel. You'll be in motion. You'll be swimming down the river. And it doesn't mean you don't make mistakes and have regrets, but by God, best wild ass guess. So that's my rant, obviously, for today. And I'm sorry for ranting like that. And I'd love any input, any questions, anything from any of you.
I've got one for you from Satyavani. How do I act from joy and lead when those around me are in panic and fear and don't want to engage or believe they are infinite, eternal, and whole, and are attached? For the record, I do believe I am infinite, eternal, and whole.
I love that. Bless you, Satyavani. I can't see you on my screen here, but I love you. So Satyavani, I know that you also believe that you are infinite, eternal, and whole. And yes, that is the real trick. And again, I'm going to go back to my recovery center because, again, one of the reasons why I love being there is many of my clients are so far from coming close to I'm infinite, eternal, and whole and acting from it. The sense of hopelessness and despair and attachment. They just want a winning lottery ticket and more drugs and, a fog, to come. And that, of course, it's a gross generalization. It's not true for everybody. So the question is, how do I reach them? And I would say the number one thing is be the example. Be the state of joy. Eventually, not always, eventually people go, that person has something I don't. That person is living from a place that I find interesting. I just read this morning in my recovery group the first parable that's written in the Zen Flesh, Zen Bones, which is about a Zen professor who goes to visit a Japanese Zen master. And they sit down for tea, and the Japanese Zen master starts pouring cup for the professor, and he pours the cup full, and then he keeps pouring, and the cup overflows and spills all over the table. And finally, the professor says, "You're spilling the water all over, or the tea all over." And the Zen master says, "Just like this cup, you're full of your own speculations and opinions. How can I teach you Zen unless you first empty that cup?" Okay? Well, most people are so filled with their opinions and their fears and their concerns and their everything. No more can go in. So you have to be the example. Stop trying to fit stuff into a place that's not got any room in it. Be the example, and maybe eventually by being an example, they might start to go, I'm looking at that person and they have something I don't. That one thing that person said just leaked in. Wow, maybe I'll try that, So first, be the example. And again, lightness, joy, and love are the results of it. And do your best and carry on and continue and be persistent. I also, pearls before swines. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, But that doesn't mean for you that you don't keep being generative, that you don't keep being giving. Throw your pearls out and, whoever eats them up, eats them up. And if they rot, they rot. That's cool too.
Thanks, Devarshi.
Oh, there you are. Hi, you. Love you too. Anybody else? Anything? Any comments? Any reactions? Any disagreements? Any, you're full of shits.
Midge, go ahead.
Midge, where are you? We can't hear you.
Here, let me read it for her, and
Okay.
then she can figure out if she can find her mute.
Okay.
So Midge said, "Thank you, Devarshi. I needed this reminder why I am doing some of the things I'm doing. Check out my not attached going out. Omoe Yoga, thank you. Not much response so far, but I get a lot of joy in putting it together. Keep on keeping on." So this I know, Midge is, I'm probably going to butcher it, and she can hop in if she can figure out how to unmute herself. But Midge is putting together gift certificates that she's bringing up to first responders from local area restaurants and other businesses, just to be able to, thank people that are on the front lines and helping to care for people in our Rhode Island community.
So beautiful. Love that. Love that. I also wanted to say one thing, and then I saw that Deb had something also. So and she wrote something in the chat. So get organized. Take the time to sit down with yourself and come up with a new mission, a real mission for yourself, for this time perhaps, but a new mission. And then come up with some real to-dos, some real goals and some real to-dos that might be so in your out of your comfort zone. But make them up and then break them down into doable steps and every day do something. And they could also be things like, wow, this is a great time to read more often. This is a great time to research and study. Wow, this is a great time to do art. This is a great time to write. This is a great time to exercise. This is a great time to learn how to change the way that I care for my body, to get new forms of exercise. I mean, those are all very, very, very worthy goals. And then, because I love this statement from A Course in Miracles, we teach best what we need to learn the most. So I have always loved whatever I find is going to be helpful for me. Hey, who can I inspire? Would you like to do this with me? Or would you like to set a goal that every day we do 50 push-ups and 25 sit-ups every day, and we'll check in at night to make sure that we did them? You know, get somebody, inspire somebody, and in the process, you'll be inspired.
All right. So I'm going to read, there's a couple of comments, and then we'll do Deb's question.
Great.
All right. So Alice said, it's also a great time to hibernate. And Kathy says, thank you, just a comment. One word ran through my mind over and over during your insightful words. Perception. I find it fascinating to think about perception, especially as a course of action and change. And then Deb's question was, can you repeat the part about already being saved?
Yes. So I want to go down first with Alice and say, when she said it's a great time to hibernate. And Alice, I know, is my dear friend, and Alice has rightfully so said, wow, she's at a time in her life where she's finding the quiet time really great. And correct me, Alice, if I'm putting words in your mouth, but she said at one point, I don't think I ever want to go back to work again, which is really great. I also want to say Alice has a lifetime of skillfulness in action and is at the age where moving into a place where relaxing more and being more is completely appropriate. And this is a new and wonderful skill for her to really learn. But it is, her learning how to hibernate is actually her action. You know, it's not a form of resistance. So I just wanted to clarify that, because some people are hibernating out of fear and resistance, and others are hibernating out of learning a new skill. Like, wow, this is really fascinating. How can I just be on my own and love myself and enjoy time and space and practice in my body? So I wanted to say that. Then the second one, Tara, could you repeat the second one before we get to the thing about being saved?
From Kathy, and it said the word that was going through her head over and over again was perception. Fascinating to think about perception, especially as a course of action and change.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure, Kathy, what you mean by perception. Unless you mean what I call context. You know, when we change the context of how we view something, everything changes. So too often in the world, people are trying to change their externals. Yet when you change the internal context, all the external changes. So again, Krishna starts out, the first context that you can change, first perception that you can change is, how would I live and who would I be if I truly believed I was infinite, eternal, and whole? And that perception, that context, that concept changes the playing field and the way everything looks. So yes, it's really important to change your perception. That's the one thing we always have control over. Well, hopefully. Many of us don't have control over our perception, but it's the skill to learn. Hopefully Kathy did that. Was that Kathy Swan who asked that? No?
Was that you, Kathy Swan?
Yes, it was me.
Oh, good.
And
Did it answer?
You pretty much picked up on what I was thinking.
Okay.
That perception, especially when we're faced with challenges, confusions, contexts, perception is the piece of us that we can control and change.
Great. Thanks, Kathy.
To understand and cope with other things.
Thanks. So then I want to get to Deb's, where she said, could you say that thing again about how we're already saved? You know, so again, I was saying that any master that has come along on the planet worth their salt has said, hey gang, you're infinite, eternal, and whole. That's the good news. You are saved. The salvation has already happened. Okay? One of the many things I love about A Course in Miracles is, in the end, in the teacher's manual, it has these short question and answer things. And I highly recommend you going and reading the section that says, how will the world end? Or no, it actually says, how will the world end? Really wonderful. And it's got a one-page answer on that. And it says, the world will end in the same way that it began, in an illusion. When we are complete with this world, the final judgment will be ushered. And that final judgment is not from God. God never did judge. God never could judge. We are the ones who judge. And there will be a day when the final judgment happens and judgment ceases to be. And judgments come from the side of us that is afraid and thinks we are right. Okay? When we stop being afraid and we stop needing to be right, we let go of our judgments and we experience the infinite universe in the present moment just as it is, which is the goal of all yoga union, forever and ever and ever. And we are saved. So when that happens, the world's purpose is over. And we all decide to say, well, that was fun, gang. And then because we're together forever, we probably go, what mess should we create next? Because we've got eternity, so why not create another mess next? Hopefully that helped, Deb.
She was laughing. I don't know if you can see her, but she had a smile.
I don't know that she's on my...
I got another one from our friend Amy Jones.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Devarshi. I've been working with the Akashic Records, and one of the things they have said to me is, since when have we ever not helped you? I think it's important to remember that our faith is also being tested. What does it mean to be alone, really?
Ooh, I love that. So one of my favorite concepts, perceptions, beliefs, that I love to make up because I find it very helpful, is I used to read a lot of books about miracles and angels. And there's many books out about angels and miracles that they have pretty much like very documented, like how the heck did that happen? Like that is a true miracle that's been documented and seen and happened, and you know, and true angel sightings and workings of angels. So I love the belief in angels. So one of my favorite books is this book called, it's called The Michael Handbook. And in the Michael Handbook, it talks about that there are these different soul levels that we move through on the planet. That we come in as a baby infant soul, we move to being a baby soul, we work into being a young soul, then we go into being a mature soul, then we go into being an old soul. So that's 5 of them. But then we let go of being in our bodies and we're still attached to the earth, and we become a transcendental soul and an infinite soul. And those transcendental soul and infinite souls, they say, are our angels and guides. They are beings that have been through all the levels of being human and embodied in time and space, and they're still very connected to their pods and to their groups and to their soul families and their entity groups, and they are beyond all of it. They remember who they really are, and their job is to help us. So I love this concept. Just imagine that there comes a day when you pop over and you've gone into being a transcendental and infinite soul, and you are assigned 2 or 3 people to help. And let's just say those people never acknowledge you, never talk to you, never call on you, never ask for your help, never thank you. You know, wow, you know, how much, you know, how good does that feel, right? They say in this book that literally the angels have a party when one of their beings comes online and starts to be in relationship with them. It's like, oh my God, another one's online. They want help. They're here. We can work with them. They're thanking us. So I really do my best not to miss an opportunity to say, please, angels, help me find my keys. Thank you, angels. You helped me find my keys. Please, angels, I'm in a mess. Can you help me find some peace? I don't care what the solution is, but help me find some peace here. You know, if you can help me unwind this and know which direction to turn, I am open. And I love to say this. You know I'm deaf, dumb, and blind. You know that I like a little, you know, tickle doesn't work for me. I need a baseball bat. Like, make it clear. You know, I need a big sign that says, turn right, idiot. You know, that's the way I like it. So, but when you talk to your angels and guides, you can get them online. Now, I remember telling my kids this long time ago when they were young, because they were asking how come I was always talking to my angels, and I said this thing, and they were like, wow. And they all really started talking to their angels and guides as a result of that. You know, I mean, we have beings of light. Again, this isn't just like some supernatural thing. Imagine how you would feel if your purpose was to help your fellow brothers and sisters and they never even pay any attention to you. You know, so use them, use them, use them, use them. They want to be used. And again, even if I'm making the whole thing up and it's just a stupid story, it's so much fun. I can't see them, so read them out.
Okay, I'll read them out. I got just a well said. Hibernation for some of us is skillfulness in action. And then I've got, let's see, what else do we have? A great time to learn things on the bucket list. Sheltering in place has been a gift. That was from Kamesh, and then he got like a, I agree, me too. And then Sandy, thank you for making up the story about the angels. It is fun.
It is fun. Yes. So also, I remember reading this Facebook post and I just loved it. Like, it would basically, I'm going to swear. So I'm just letting you know I'm doing it deliberately and consciously this time. It was a Facebook post that basically said something like, you know, fuck, this is a time to learn a new language or start to dance or learn to cook. You know, it's like, there's a world pandemic going on. Like, I'm immobilized, you know. And I thought that was funny. You know, so yes, we can go down our bucket list, but it does feel a little hard sometimes when our feet are in quicksand. So maybe there is some rightful action. I have a friend that inspires me every day. She's a sewer. And she's a beautiful artist, and she is sewing the most incredible masks for so many people, for hospital nurses, for all of her friends, of bright colors, and it's bringing her joy, and it's creating an incredible purpose, and it's really, really, really needed. And this is her seva to stay sane and to give, and I think that's just a really beautiful thing.
Indira, you want to unmute?
Yes.
Hi, Indira.
So, you know, Devarshi, I love the thing about the angels too. And the one thing I wanted to say about it is what I notice is when I'm really focused on thanking the angels, when, you know, a miracle happens, all of a sudden I notice many more miracles. You know, it's like I see them all the time. So I get to thank them all the time. And it's kind of, you know, a perpetuated thing. So
I love that. Well, gratitude and love run in the same vein, you know. So being grateful, again, forget about whether we're right or wrong. Find some story so that you can create gratitude for yourself. You know, create some way that there's some gratitude going on, because gratitude is scientifically healthy, you know, for the cells. So even if your goal is to live the longest, which mine isn't, you know, and to be in these bodies and to fear death as much as possible, gratitude's still your answer. Okay? So it is a healthy thing at every level of the being.
Brittany, do you want me to read yours or do you want to chime in? Let's see, where is she?
Hi, Brittany.
You can read it, Tara.
Okay. All right. So Brittany said, who's not mute? Melly.
Oh, sorry, sorry.
Always Mel.
Blown away at how much I have been able to reconnect with my kids. I am getting to know them inside and out, and they are getting to know each other so well, and beating each other up. But it has brought a lot of clarity to me in many ways. I'm finding the word clarity has crossed my mind a lot lately. More clear about who I am.
Hey, Brittany, you're going to have to mute.
I've been forced to come to this reality. It has truly been helpful.
We're getting a lot of feedback.
I'm sorry. Okay, that's me.
Mel. All right. Okay. So that's really great, Brittany. Brittany is also a school teacher. And so Brittany's home with her children. And I know for myself, I know many people are feeling that polarity, of, oh my God, this is another one of my favorite Facebook memes, which said, yes, it takes a village to raise a child, but it's going to take a vineyard to homeschool mine. That's pretty funny, isn't it? So anyways, there is this gamut, but my 26-year-old son has moved and is staying with us here in Palm Springs, wonderfully in his own apartment upstairs. Thank the Lord. I'm not even Catholic, but I'm crossing myself. And we are having an incredible time because we have this long extended period as adults to really be together. We're making meals every night together. We're playing games together, but we're having deep, deep, deep discussions about the future, his fears, his concerns, and working out lots. It's just a whole another level of parenting, and I am so grateful for that. So he just signed up to stay another month out of Los Angeles and to be with me in Palm Springs. So I'm really happy about that.
All right, let's see if I missed anybody. What we got appreciation for F-bombs.
Yeah, thank you.
And the grace, I assume the word grace is also a big help for me.
Yeah, I love the word grace. I mean, grace to me, in essence, also has this thy will be done sort of surrender to it. I open to grace. And that brings me up with, what I call the left and the right. We have this thinking, doing, self and mind. We have a feeling, being, mind. And it is a really difficult paradox to be a human being, but we need both of those feet. And we need to say, and this is the skillfulness in action, I am heading forward. This is what I desire. This is where I'm headed. This is what I'm accomplishing. This is what my goal is. This is what I'm doing and putting into action. At the same time, simultaneously, we have to step over here, which is very seemingly contradictory. Thy will be done. I totally surrender. I'm open to you changing every agenda. And this is where the non-attached to the fruits of our actions really lies. This is the surrender, the results. Thy will be done, Lord. Open my eyes to something greater or beyond. And then we switch. And here's where I'm headed. And here's where I'm going. And here's what I wish to accomplish. And here's what I let go of. And thy will be done. And open my eyes and empty my cup. And we have to sit in this paradox of a body rooted in time and space trying to create action in a temporary world, and an infinite, eternal, and whole soul who really doesn't give a crap about anything, and thy will be done. So how do those two things go hand in hand? And to me, that's the essence of the teaching of skillfulness in action. It's be skillful in your action. Everything is, you're part of this creation. Create, 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 and then surrender it all. The fruits don't matter. Whatever happens, happens. Thy will be done.
All right, Maya has a question. Go ahead, Maya. Can you figure out?
Hold on, I'll unmute
Right, you're good. I unmuted you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Thank you, Devarshi, for doing this. It's really wonderful.
Hi, Maya. It took me a while to find you. Hi, how are you? I'm glad to see your face.
Hi. So one thing, I feel like I would have an answer for myself for this if I were asking the question to myself, but I'd like to hear what you have to say. I think something that's really interesting about this time and this pandemic is that it is sort of freezing people in their present moment. And so when I talk to friends, depending on the age of life that they're in, they're having very different experiences. And everybody has their own challenges. But I wonder, when you're talking about your 26-year-old son, and when I talk to people who are sort of in my generation
So,
Does that make sense?
yes, it does, and it's a great question, and I'd love to hear your answer.
I don't want to give my answer.
Okay, all right. So,
The answer is the question.
so first place, you know, it is wonderful to see the difference of where I am at versus where my son is at. And often I will say something and he'll say, well, that's fine for you that you're not afraid to die, but I haven't lived yet. You know, I have my whole life ahead of me. I have a whole bunch of things, and this is the world I'm inheriting. This makes me angry. This makes me rageful. So, you know, and I say, great. I understand that. I certainly have been that way. When I was 26, I too was angry and rageful, and as far as I was concerned, in the days of the Cold War, the world was ending. Overpopulation was a problem. We were all going to die really soon. And I was praying for the aliens to land, and they haven't yet, to my satisfaction. You know, so, you know, I understand that. And then, again, we have to get into action. And I do want to take note of something that you said. It is interesting that it seems like we can't really plan into our future right now. And I would say that's the way that it seems, but that's what we have to work out. Because the truth of what's happening right now is true all the time. The future is always uncertain. That has never been different. We have been in a sleepless state if we think that that's not been the case. So the same future that you wanted to create before lies ahead of you now. And the only thing to ever want to create is not external. The only thing that anybody worth their salt really wants to create is happiness, safety, peace of mind, fulfillment, satisfaction, a sense of belonging, health, and wellness. Those are the only things worth acquiring. And those things are there for the taking now, in this seeming setting, in the same way that they always are. And one of the gifts of this is they might be even more available now, you know? Like so, if you're a person who's searching, like I'll be happy when I create, or if I marry so-and-so, or if I do, you know, that's not where the happiness lies anyways. The happiness lies here, and it lies here now. And then when you move into this now, it lies here now. And then when you're in this now, it lies here now. And then you look back at your past and go, wow, I've had a happy past. And then you look forward at the future and go, I know how to be present in the now, and I've made a goodness out of the nows. So I think my nows in the future are going to be pretty good too. And the form, don't really give a shoot. You know, I could be in a tent and I'll still be finding the same things there are to look for. You know, I could lose my whole bank account. Already have. Again, I might add.
All right. Kamesh.
Hey, Kamesh Ji, Lord of Love.
Hey, Devarshi ji. How are you?
I am good.
I just wanted to say thank you so much. I love and adore you, and this has been so great
You too.
to see everyone, to see you, and to hear your voice. And I've been practicing that tree meditation every day.
Oh, fun.
I love it on your YouTube, yeah. And I subscribed to a YouTube channel. I don't know why I didn't earlier. Sorry. But
Well, probably because I never put anything on it. So I'm going to start.
Awesome, and thank you so much for this, and love to you and Joe and your son and
Thank
Archie.
you. Thank you so much.
And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Tara, thank you so much for organizing this and helping out with Varshi. This is so great.
You're so very welcome. We've got a couple other people that are saying goodbye. Thanks, Kamesh.
All right. Goodbye, all, and thank you so much. I think this is probably a good time to wrap it up, right, Tara?
Yep, I think so. If anybody else, let me see, hold on, a couple more things are just popping in. I'll just read them off quick. Let's see. Thank you all. Loved this conversation. Jai Bhagwan. Thank you. Love you, Devarshi. So good. Thank you for this. I must sign off now. Be well, my friend. Namaste. And hold on, I saw another one.
All right, we don't have to read them all. That's wonderful. So I would like to say, and this could really sound opportunistic, and I've certainly felt like there's been many opportunistic, things happening, but this is truly as a service. If you are in any way having a difficult time and are looking for one-on-one help to really do some of your deepest work, to uncover your personal samskaras, I would be glad to do one-on-one coaching with you, and it's one of the many things that I do. And don't let money be an obstacle. We could work something out. So I just want to say that I have many clients, and it's some of my all-time favorite work, and it's a service that I love to offer. And again, this is a golden opportunity to really find happiness amidst all of this. So just adding that plug. And I would love to say Maya Tree, Missy Gunnis. She has great YouTubes for deep play with kids that are available. Maya Tree, are you here?
She's here somewhere, or she was a little bit ago. There she is. I see her.
All right, Maya Tree, can you say something about what you have to offer? Oh my God, you got feedback, girl. All right.
All right, I had to mute her.
Okay. Maya Tree, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to speak for you. Okay? So, Maya Tree's Deep Play for Kids. Go to Deep Play for Kids and you will find the information. And if you email Maya Tree, she will be able to hook you up with many wonderful things to do. I also want to say if you go to Malika, Milika, Malika lives in India. She's a fabulous student. She's been doing many yoga nidras, which are beautiful, hypnotic, incredible, 20 to 40 minute yoga nidras that are really amazing. So please head over to her site and have a fabulous relaxation. Is there anybody else who has something that they'd like to offer and let the group know? Send it to us on a chat, and Tara will Mel.
Want to talk? You good?
Well, can I talk? Can you hear me?
We can.
I'm two people on here. I just have to say that I just feel so blessed to be a part of this community, a part of this Sangha, to be your friend, Devarshi, Tara, and all. And I feel like this has kept me okay during this very difficult time for many. And I've had, like right now, I have a roof over my head, but we've lost jobs, we've got, but I'm okay. And I am so, and feel so completely blessed that I have my family, my family, you are my family. And I just I cannot believe how grateful I am. Thank you. Mwah.
Love you, Melly. I just want to say
I love you too.
I can smell you through the computer.
Can I just say this? We really should be like spring at the Zen Center. You know that, right?
I know.
We should be
Yeah.
like at the center right now.
Mel and I and Tara and Maya Tree and others lead the Pranatan Yoga teacher training, and this would have been our graduation final weekend coming up at the Zen Center. So it's really weird to have transferred that whole thing to being virtual at this moment and to postpone indefinitely our final graduation weekend.
Yeah. So I'm just so grateful to be here right now in my kitchen with you all. So thank you, my friend.
And Mel has great classes that are happening on the All That Matters website. Great yoga classes.
There's also Deep Play with Kids with Missy. Deep Play for Kids.
That's also on All That Matters. That's fabulous.
Yeah, he taught last Friday. We're doing it every Friday night for the month.
Thank you, Tara.
And Tara, you are rocking it.
Rocking it, girl. She's like, talk about skillfulness in action. That girl's got it down.
Yeah, she's the epitome. She personifies skillfulness in action.
Yes.
Over the top.
Now, like the river was flowing, and we had to like grab a tube and hop on it. Otherwise, it was gonna.
Yeah.
Well, you're an amazing swimmer.
Well, I'd be on your raft any day. Baby.
Yeah. Amen. Well,
Any day.
gang, we're going to end it. I love you. I'm so appreciative. I'm so honored. I mean, what a hoot, and so fabulous to see your faces. I mean, I really, truly feel like I've been with you, and in many of you, I get to see your homes, and you've been relaxing and eating, and it's been fabulous. I love you all. So, peace, 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 peace. Stay light, be happy, regardless.
Hey, I just wanted to shout out and say, All That Matters is going to keep doing these every Thursday night with somebody different, and Devarshi will probably cycle back through in a few weeks.
Be glad to.
I think
And Mel and Kendall. What about Mel and Kendall?
Mel and Kendall are going to get ready to do one together, and my friend Coral Brown, I think, is going to do next week. So we've got some fun people coming your way. I think Jen Thomas is going to do one. So,
Amen. That's all the brainchild of Tara.
The Mendel Show.
Yeah.
Great job. Jai Bhagwan, everybody. Love you.
Bye.
Jai.
All right, gang. So I just left the meeting, and now I'm just going to look over at you. So many people asked for this. Will it be recorded? And this was the best that we could come up with. So I'm going to put this on YouTube and give a little introduction at the end. But thank you if you stayed the whole way through. So honored. Sorry that I was looking at my screen the whole time. But blessings to you, and I hope that it was helpful to you in some way, shape, or form. Jai Bhagwan.